A late-night signal. A voice that shouldn't exist. A warning too strange to ignore. Elijah Monroe thought he was just another sleep-deprived teenager with an old radio and a weird hobby, until the transmission came. The numbers are changing on their own. A whisper slithers through his walls. The man in the black just waltzed into his house like he owns the place. The message was simple. Run. But now it's too late. Because the signal wasn't just a mistake. It was an invitation. A burst of static. Then a whisper. Low. Unnatural. Elijah. We've been waiting for you. Mysterious signals. Shadowy figures. And a sleep-deprived teenager armed with nothing but a whisk. Welcome to Frontier Unknown. Tonight, we dive into Chapter 2 of the signal. So dim the lights, turn up the volume, and remember, some frequencies should never be tuned in. Chapter 2. Visitor. The air outside felt too still. Elijah had barely made it home before the unease settled deep in his bones. Every few steps, he checked over his shoulder, half expecting the black sedan to follow him. But the street was empty. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone, was watching. He closed the door behind him, locking it with shaky fingers. His mom wouldn't be home for another hour. The house felt too big. Too quiet. The radio sat where he had left it in the attic. Dials still turned to 4.320 megahertz. The number sent a shiver down his spine. He shouldn't check. He knew he shouldn't. But he did. The static was gone. A voice whispered through the speaker. Slow, deliberate. You have one chance, Elijah. One chance to run. Then the attic door slammed shut behind him. Nope. Absolutely not. Elijah whispered to himself, heart hammering. We are not doing this today. But his feet refused to move. He was frozen in place like a poorly coded video game character. His brain screamed at him to leave, run, jump out the window if necessary. But instead, his curiosity betrayed him. Hello, he called, because clearly, that was the most logical response to a haunted attic. Silence, then a loud thud. Okay, nope, we're done. Elijah spun, bolting for the stairs like an Olympic sprinter. He nearly tripped over his own feet as he skidded into the kitchen, grabbed the closest weapon, a whisk, really, and held it up defensively. I don't know what you are, but I'm armed with... He looked at the whisk. Bad decisions. Silence again. Then, a whisper. Close. Too close. They're already here. The front door handle rattled. Elijah's grip on the whisk tightened, which did absolutely nothing to make him feel safer. His eyes darted around the kitchen. Knife block. Too far. Rolling pin? Useless. Toaster? Maybe if he threw it with enough force. Then, a sudden knock. 3 soft rhythmic taps. Elijah? A voice cooed from the other side of the door. We know you're in there. His stomach did a full gymnastic routine. Yeah? Well, I know that you knowing I'm in here isn't making me feel any better. Elijah shot back, instantly regretting his choice to sass the unknown entity. A pause, then the faint sound of a chuckle. Let's have a chat, the voice said. No need to be scared. Oh, sure, because random whispers through my walls and a mystery guy rattling my doorknob totally screams, "Safe conversation." Elijah muttered under his breath. He needed a plan. Fast. His eyes flickered toward the window. He could climb out, run to Maggie's house, hope she wouldn't slam the door in his face, or waking her up at whatever the heck time it was. But before he could move, his radio crackled back to life. Static. Then a voice. "Elijah, don't open the door." His breath hitched. That voice. It was his own. From the radio. And the moment he realized that, the doorknob twisted and the front door creaked open. Elijah's instincts screamed at him to run, but his body chose the less helpful option of freezing in place, because standing just beyond the threshold was nobody. Just an empty doorway leading into the darkened street. "Oh, great. I'm being haunted by dramatic tension," Elijah muttered, still clutching the whisk like it was Excalibur. Classic horror movie move. But just as he exhaled, thinking maybe, just maybe, this was all in his head, a slow, deliberate step echoed from outside. Then another. And then a figure emerged. Tall, lean, dressed in a crisp black suit. The same man from the sedan. The man stepped forward, stopping just inside the doorway, the dim porch light catching on his sunglasses. He didn't move like someone simply entering a house. He moved like someone who had always been there, waiting for the right moment to be seen. "Elijah Monroe," the man said, his voice smooth, controlled. "We need to talk." Elijah tightened his grip on the whisk. "You guys really need to work on your entrance strategies. This whole spooky door creaking open thing is a little much." The man didn't react. "You received a transmission. That was a mistake." "Yeah, well, I make a lot of those, so you'll have to be more specific." The man took another step forward, his polished shoes clicking against the wooden floor. "Did you respond to the signal?" Elijah blinked. "What, like, replied? New phone? Who dis? That kind of thing?" The man exhaled through his nose, as if debating whether Elijah was worth the effort. "You need to come with me, now." Elijah took a step back. "Oh, see, I would, but I have a very strict rule about following creepy men in suits who magically open my front door." "You don't understand," the man said, his tone cooling. "If you don't come with me, they will." As if on cue, the radio behind Elijah let out a violent burst of static. The lights flickered. A gust of cold air rushed through the open door, though there was no wind outside. Then, through the radio, layered over the static, another voice joined in. It wasn't the man's. It wasn't Elijah's. It was something else. A whisper. Guttural and ancient. Too late. You made it. But let's be honest. You're checking your radio right now, aren't you? Listening a little too hard to the silence. Wondering if there's something, someone, on the other side. Elijah's story isn't over. Not even close. And if you think this was unsettling, well, you might want to leave a light on for what's coming next. If you enjoyed tonight's dive into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Not just because it helps the channel, but because, let's face it, you're already in too deep. See you next time, if you're still listening.